Howdy ho, listeners. This is episode 41 coming at you of the Armchair Analysts podcast here.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Ace. With me as always is...
Johnson? Johnny?
He can't just say Johnny. Yeah, he's got to make it so hard just to throw in two-syllable word.
We
What's
actually
going
have
on,
a
man?
real episode this time. Not
We
that
do.
half-branded stuff. No, that was pretty cool. We got to have some fun with some cool guys. Appreciate everyone for checking that out. But now you get the
Yeah.
full dosage. You get everything, whether you like it or not. Segments are back, sort of. We got a lot to cover actually. We're actually touching other sports other than football for once. So if you're looking outside that sphere, this is a good time to
Yep.
be alive. But
It's
it's
I like that, though. There's a lot to talk about. And you
Yeah.
know what? For the first time, it ain't going to be political. Right?
But-
Haha, President.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
All right. If you're not already, please give us one of your wonderful Twitter follows at AA Podcast. You can find us, yell at us, holler at us, tell us what we're doing wrong, right. Doesn't matter. We all like to hear all this stuff anyway. And then whenever you get down to your phone and you're looking for some podcasts to download, check us out, man. We are on everything: Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, iHeart, literally everything. And if it's not, I stand by my word. I will put us on that platform. I will find a way to do it if you want us on something else. And of course, as we mentioned, we're doing video now. So our last collaboration with the Dorton and Duckett podcast is on there. This episode will be on there. A bunch of other episodes are on there. Some of them without our pretty faces, but at least the last 6 have our shining grins on there. So
Yeah. It's turned out well, and we got some things in the works as well with the whole intro outro screen setup. So yeah.
Oh my god!
We're
Because
making
that's what everyone
incremental
comes for.
steps.
They want to see what the new screen we
Oh.
have.
I'm just saying we're making incremental steps. I think it's a noticeable touch improvement. So yeah,
It is.
you guys enjoy.
Well, and everyone, we should just draw attention to Ace's new setup now. He's finally joined the 20th century. He has a microphone, an actual microphone now. So
With legit filter.
he's an actual podcaster. So we're
I love
very proud of him. We didn't have to wait till Hanukkah. I was able to get him that right away. All right, enough banter. Let's do a quick rundown here. So we kind of have a random rant-ish, but I'm actually going to be ceding my time to my guy Ace here because he's got some fun stuff he wants to cover. The greatest hole-in-one probably of all time. NBA releases a schedule for the important upcoming dates. COVID cases just spanking the NFL and NCAA right now. Delving a little bit into the Pac-12 and what their plan is going forward. A little bit of badges. Got to talk badges. A soundbite of the week, and then Ace is going to do his wonderful quick 6 recap. So, I mean, I think we need to hear about this story. So I'm ceding my random rant time to my boy Ace here. Why don't you tell us what you got up to this weekend?
It's a review of Diamond Joe Casino in Northwood, Iowa. Not even the nice one along the river in Dubuque, but yeah, my first time going to a sports book close by in the region, not named Vegas. And I mean, it was small. I didn't have much expectation, I guess, overall for the place, but you know, being able to put a couple sports bets on some college, some NFL over the weekend, and only being an hour and a half, 2 hours away was pretty cool. Maybe going back in a month or so, and if so, I'll recap you. I did not win on any of the sports bets. Go figure.
No one is surprised. No one is surprised.
Again, it's like basically 2 hours directly south of Minneapolis in Iowa. Small little place, but you know, it's not bad. It's
So
not
you're
bad.
driving using gas money to go lose money in addition.
More.
Okay.
I did learn how to play craps, though. Like I said, winning a little bit more there that helped
There you go.
offset the losses, and I think that's become my new sport to play at the casino.
Craps. Wow. Mine used to be drink, but that's not very profitable. So, well, maybe we can do like a 50th episode hang. We can do
At
time and
some
show.
TBD.
Yeah, well, do some live action maybe. Who knows?
That'd
Who
be
knows?
sweet.
We'll get down on some hotel shenanigans. No, that's not rated properly for this podcast.
All right. Let's stick on. Let's stay on task here.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's cool. And honestly, I mean, now that it's I'm not going to say decriminalized, but it's definitely more accepted, I think, going forward. I mean,
Hmm.
fantasy football was around for like 20 years, and people are like, well, let's gamble. We can spend more money on this. And so DraftKings
Uh,
comes about, and FanDuel, all that kind of, all the spin-off stuff. So gambling, I think, in general has become more popular. Gambling on sports has become incredibly popular.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so I that's no surprise. So I'm glad you got to get that experience. I mean, it might not have been the most positive one for you, but
Dude, yeah,
yeah.
the anxiety. I mean, don't let this calm-natured manner fool you. The
No,
anxiety that you
you're
feel sometimes.
dripping sweat.
I lost a four-teamer because the Steelers missed two extra points. They couldn't just make one. I lost by a half a point.
Boswell strikes again.
I lost by a half a point on a teaser on a half point because I
You
chose the
lost on a
under, the
teaser.
over.
Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
lost on the over. They said
Yeah, I
43
was
and a
sad.
half. It was terrible.
Yeah, I was sad.
All right. Needless to say though, yeah. Good experience overall.
All
Let's
right.
let's keep going.
Keep her moving. Keep her moving. So I hope that everyone has seen this by now. I had probably 3 people send it to me, and then ESPN thoughtfully pushed me a notification reminding me to look at it a 12th time. The only thing I will say that kind of stinks about this is that there's no audio because it was during a practice round and there was nobody in the crowd.
Mhm.
So that's the only thing really holding this thing back. But take a look at John Rahm's hole in one.
Mhm.
My God, like you know when you're a kid and you're skipping stones over a pond or a lake, and no, this guy did it with his golf ball, and then he had the putt go completely across the long way of the green and into the hole for a hole in one. Like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh,
It's the famed 16th hole at Augusta, Georgia. The Masters is
oh my
taking place this
gosh,
weekend,
I can't even.
and it's an incredible shot, and it's a great kind of segue into the preview, Johnny, for this weekend's Masters
I mean,
taking
I'm not
place.
playing in it, so I think you're gonna have to do the Masters preview, unfortunately. So why don't you handle that one?
No, but definitely check that shot out. I think like you
Please,
said, it's
you
probably the
actually might
greatest.
have to be living under a rock if you haven't seen it. But if you're not, even if you're not a golf fan, definitely just seriously Google John Rahm hole in one. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, it's definitely a treat. And honestly, the
Yeah.
first time you watch it, you're like, this looks kind of fake. Like it looks like they chopped 2 different shots up. But no, it's legit. So definitely check that out. But yeah, Masters preview. What do you got?
Bryson DeChambeau apparently, well, not apparently, he's got over 200 miles per hour ball like rotation, just ball speed in his swing right now. His swing, or sorry, swing speed is over 200, and there's rumors he's going to be touching 390, 400 consistently out there, which means he is the clear on odds favorite to win. Based off this style, and it's really getting some people's heads turned. And he might even pull out a 48-inch driver, which for comparison, that's what long drive competition users use, a longer one. We're using, mine's like 44 and a half, 45, something like that. I'm guessing yours is probably the same. So that's an extra 3 inches of distance. So he is the heavy favorite. Tiger's obviously in there, Philly Dog, some of the vets, George Spieth, who's won it a few times. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting weekend. I don't, necessarily want to go out on a limb and pick anyone, but I will say because I was in Diamond Joe, I did put $10 on Jason Day. I put
Jason
$10 on
Day.
Jason Day, so I could win 330. But 33 plus 3,300, why not?
Buy low, sell high. Cool,
Yes.
cool. All right, so we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna delay talking about football as much as we can, just for the non-football crew. We're gonna talk a little NIBA NBA. So they released a schedule earlier today. We got this time next week, November 18th, the NBA draft will begin. November 20th, just 2 days later, free agent negotiations will start, and then 2 days after that, the 22nd, signings begin. Because obviously you have to have the contracts 100% written before you sign someone. Uh, and then all of a sudden, like it feels like the championship just passed, but they have the accelerated season. So now December 22nd, the 2021 season begins. So I mean, it's nice because I haven't had to deal with the Giannis questions as much because it's a really shortened off season. But it also means there's no answer there, which is haunting, terrifying.
Hmm.
But it gives them a little bit more time. At least they get a couple weeks to figure out, hey, like, are we actually going to try to win a championship while he's on the team, or I mean, there's been so many rumors. The latest one is Russell Westbrook coming resurfacing, which
Oh my God.
uh,
LeBron, is he resurfacing again? I didn't.
ugh,
What about
it's
Chris Paul? I heard some rumors
of
about him, but
course.
frankly,
And
I've kind
literally,
of
insert
fallen
point
off.
guard here goes to the Bucks has been a
Yeah,
headline somewhere on the internet somewhere.
the
So,
Wolves will trade you our number one pick, maybe.
well, we'll probably find some horrible way to use it. So, but
uh,
that's I mean that's kind of exciting because like you know there was a pretty crushing defeat by the Heat. I
yeah,
mean I watched every minute just in the off chance that it might be Giannis's last game, and it was rough. I mean honestly, like it was probably the best year for a non-dominant home team to do well. So I mean obviously that it didn't matter because the Lakers were there, but I mean their home record wasn't great. So I mean the first half of the season they were struggling pretty hard. So this was. Like the Heat, this was huge for them. Like there was no advantage to
yeah.
anybody, and technically, I mean, they were kind of home. Like they're literally right in
hmm
Florida. Like,
Yeah, not a
so
lot of people are talking about that either. The
I
whole
mean,
distance
it's
travel thing doesn't. Well,
sure
I know they're in a bubble
they're
though
sleeping
too. So
there, bro. They're sleeping there. There's no travel.
well, I'm
But
just saying, like to
yeah,
actually get there. But once you're there, you're
but
in
it
lockdown.
was like a pure winner. Like there was no advantage either way. So it felt I don't know, but yeah, go Lakers.
hmm
Obviously, number one team ever. But yeah, so we got some fun stuff coming up. So if your NFL team's doing horribly and you just don't care about the world, we can turn gears to the NBA really quick here.
hmm
Uh,
I don't know how long I'll pay attention to that, but no.
you right? Yeah. So I mean, we could try to avoid getting into football, but like that's the majority of our show right now. So
What's yeah, it's a little bit different. Normally we have like the regional topics and kind of weekend like normally we have a little bit of structure, but there's so much
yeah,
football
it's.
like
I
with
mean, I guess
cancellation news.
technically, sure, we could do it. I mean, okay, so the Badgers reopened their facilities this week
Oh,
after not playing a game since October 23rd. I was carving pumpkins the last time the Badgers played. My pumpkin is out there rotting right now. Like, it's so that was the whole thing. Like Ram Mertz played 5 TDs. I understand it was Illinois, but he looked like he had been playing for years on that program with those players. And as soon as he got COVID, it's like, oh my gosh, like he's gone for 3 weeks. What's gonna happen? The backup, the starter is hurt. Mertz
Yep.
is diagnosed with COVID. This guy behind him, Wolf, not me. Was also diagnosed, and it's like, oh, what do we do? So they cancel the game. All of a sudden, we're 3 weeks later. He's eligible to play this Saturday at Michigan. He's ready to go. He's still going through the COVID protocol, so but fingers crossed. So that's exciting. But I mean, aside from that, I mean, who knows? I honestly, it's been.
I'm glad they were able to get Michigan back on the schedule. I don't know how that was able to
Well,
fit in,
that's
but
because that's how Harbaugh's going to get fired because that's the final part of the plan.
oh
Yeah,
god, yeah, because weren't they originally supposed to play them before everything kind of yeah, they got
they
canceled.
have to
They
play
were
them.
supposed to
They
yeah
gotta
week
play.
2 I think.
Badgers aren't allowed to play anyone harder than Michigan or like Michigan State. Ohio State occasionally.
Yeah,
We got to pad our schedule, so it's not so bad.
well, especially when you're only playing in conference too.
Well, and that's another thing. It's like, well, not only that, but that's literally. I don't think that they can even. Not that they'll have the Badgers going anywhere. I saw some stupid articles about the path to the playoffs for the Badgers. It's like, dude, we just missed 2 games. Our strength of schedule, like, no one was gonna put us in the top 10 before when we were still playing. No,
Now that's for sure not going to
We'll be
happen.
middling teens, and it's probably going to stay that way. But yeah, missing the last 2 games. I mean, we didn't lose technically, so.
I'm curious how to see, like, just with the playoff seeding, how this is going to shape the rest of the,
Well,
like, teams basically.
Let
It's
me
crazy.
expound upon that because due to COVID
Yes,
cases in NCAA, so we have LSU, Alabama canceled. Wait, no,
Mhm.
sorry. No, postponed. Texas A&M, Tennessee postponed. Ohio State, Maryland game canceled because of COVID cases in Maryland. And then even a future game that's just 3 days out, they're also going to cancel. Georgia and Missouri, or sorry, that they're postponing that. So I mean, they're shuffling, they're moving stuff all over. They're canceling games. They're postponing some. I mean, LSU, Alabama. I mean, that's a huge marquee game. You got the defending champs versus the perennial, playoff team. I
Hmm.
mean, postponing they can't cancel that. That's why that one's going to get postponed. Texas A&M and Tennessee, obviously a very big game too, postponed. Georgia, Missouri, another very big game coming up in 3 days, also postponed. And I mean, so that's
I
I think
mean,
we're just getting started right here now.
can we blame Halloween? Speaking of that, I think it's likely we can blame Halloween. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I
I
was
didn't go trick or
invited to a
treating.
party. I didn't go trick or treating or to the party, but I mean, these kids are
Yeah,
college students, so
the timing adds up pretty well.
right? Yeah.
So,
It,
but the thing is, it's like the NFL's been kind of going back and forth. I mean, the Titans had a rough go
yep.
of it. Players are getting fined for having parties,
Steelers
coaches not
now.
wearing masks, all this kind of crap. So last week there was over almost 60 cases in the NFL between players
Oh,
and
God, yeah.
personnel, and I think that kind of prompted the contingency plan that we were kind of talking off air,
Hmm.
with the 8 playoff teams per conference if there's games missed or the season isn't completed. So I'm not sure the finer details of it because I was so pissed. Because what was the first thing I said when they added a 7th playoff seed? When they added an additional wild card, the first thing I said was like, well, I mean, we're pretty close to just
They're
letting half
gonna.
the conference in. Like,
Yep. And there it
and
is.
here we go. Look, go effing figure. Here we go. Now having 8 teams.
It. It.
I
If
understand
it's
contingency.
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I
But
I
they
understand.
wouldn't have put that in if they weren't obviously thinking this could potentially happen.
They're
If there
gonna do it
wasn't like
anyway
a,
eventually.
hmm you're right.
So
That's a
I mean,
great point. If it's not this year, anyways, they're gonna sign it in whenever there's a new bargaining
what is this,
agreement or
Ace?
whatever.
This is a slippery slope. This is a
Yep.
slippery slope we're going down. That's how it goes. It used to, you used to have to try. You used to have to, unless you're NFC East team, you used to have to try and have a good record to get in the playoffs. And now it's slowly becoming. I don't know. I mean, what would like a diehard conservative call it? You're getting a participation trophy. You play to win.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm kind of buying into it a little bit. I'm drinking the
You're-
Kool Aid.
it's like a
But
50-50 shot. That'd be awesome. There's,
oh my
I mean, I don't know
gosh,
what
that's painful,
I,
man. That's
I know it's
painful.
crazy because you're gonna the product. I mean, think how this will affect betting lines too. And I mean, the same thing is going to be discussed with college football at some point. People aren't going to be satisfied with a 14 playoff. Um,
I'm surprised they haven't gotten more pissy about it already because they've been doing this for what now? 4 years?
they're
4
going to see
years?
Alabama, LSU, and all these powerhouse conference teams playing year over year. Clemson, and it's like, come on, give us a
I mean,
chance.
you could occasionally throw like Georgia or like Oklahoma in
Hmm.
there randomly, but yeah, typically, Ohio State, sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, you typically have your Clemson, Alabama, LSU, and insert 4th team.
Yeah, when's the last time a Pac-12 team or like even um, what's the other? No, I guess now that Clemson.
I want to say it wasn't super long ago.
Their way.
Um,
Um, I think overall, I think the impact's going to be felt here sooner than later with everything that's going on. In cases spiked, I mean, we've had the governor, and same with your state. Wisconsin's had the governors come on.
ugh,
Oh, no,
ugh.
like keeping us locked in, but I mean, there's restrictions for sure that are
Yeah.
getting a little bit stronger. So who knows? I mean, if cases continue to spike, they're going to have to lock down facilities and all that, like we've seen. Um, yeah. I the worst part is this is like, should I bring up Dalvin? Are we gonna recap like if
Uh,
games get canceled and my
so
boy Dalvin Cook can't win MVP? Like,
so I let Ace have a freebie this week. So since we didn't have there wasn't any audio technically for the John Rahm putt. We let him do
oh,
this Dalvin Cook highlight because he was untouched running against the Lions. So we're gonna let Ace have this one. So we'll play that in a little bit for him. If you want to see a guy barely get contested and be able to run it 70 yards untouched, this is the clip for you.
oh, yeah, the
Okay.
excitement though.
I will let you say your piece about Dalvin, and I will offer maybe
My
some points of thought. So go ahead. This is
why
Ace's
why
presentation of why Dalvin Cook is an MVP candidate in 2020. Go ahead.
you forgot to mention my logical point for why I actually
Uh,
did a little bit of digging this time, and you know what?
He's
I'll start off.
surprised.
I'll start off by saying that it's due. It's due for a running back to win. The last time was. Do you remember the last time a running back won MVP, Johnny?
2001.
No. Who did the Vikings have?
Vikings?
Vikings. It was Adrian Peterson in 2012 was the last
Oh,
time a running back
wow.
won. So 8
Wow.
years, and given the whole like breakdown, that's right on par with the last, kind of handful. And not only that, he had more rushing yards than Peterson. He had more rushing yards than Tomlinson, than Sean Alexander,
Wait, are you
than I
talking at
think
this point in the
Falk.
season
These
or
are all
what?
past MVP winners up until the 8-game mark, I should say. Up until the 8-game mark. So I'm telling you, I did research. The only difference is that LT and Falk caught so many, they caught so many passes. It's absurd
The
what they
only
did out of the
difference,
backfield.
Falk
Mm.
had like 2,000 total yards. He had 100 receptions.
And you're right, we're halfway through, and I think Dalvin's on pace for maybe 1,700.
Which is impressive because
But
of all the time. Kirk Cousins would have like half his passing yards if he wasn't chucking it down in little checkdowns to Dalvin anyway. But I don't know.
uh,
I just like how you got emboldened after back-to-back games against crappy run defenses against the Packers and the Lions. You get all excited about Dalvin. But
I am literally like a roller coaster. One
so
day
are
I'm
all
gonna be
Vikings
pissed off.
fans. Yeah, you hate them one day, you love them the next. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep. Yep.
But you know what was funny? I don't know if you watched any games this weekend. I know that you were a rambling, gambling dude, but they had like the little roundtable powwow, I believe on Fox, and they were talking about MVP candidates, this and that. Nobody mentioned Rodgers, which I'm totally okay with. I don't take that personally. I think that's great.
Wow.
I want us under the radar as much as possible.
I mean, his stats bear
But
that. He's got some of the best stats, I think.
the first
But
person they
whatever.
mentioned, obviously, was Russell Wilson because he's had an amazing game. Last week, or against the Cardinals, he had two awful interceptions, two in the red zone. They said this after the first game. So the Seahawks and the Bills played the late game, right? So
Mhm.
Russell had a terrible outing versus the Bills. So they cursed another player too, where I believe it was Terry Bradshaw. He's like, "Well, what about Ben Roethlisberger?" Roethlisberger looked really bad in that first half. He was really rough, and he pretty sure
You
he got
lost me my
dinged up. Well, he wasn't kicking, so it's not him. But it's just the people that make these conversation topics in the middle of the season for MVP. It's like, is there really nothing else to talk about? I know you got to get excited for one reason or another, but I don't know.
That was kind of the premise behind obviously bringing all of this up because I can't. I mean, he's not going to win on our team with a losing record. So I'm glad you mentioned that
That's the
because it
thing
was
too,
sort
though.
of a
Like
team.
that's a good point. Like if most valuable to me, that's like if that player was not on the team, this team would be
Mhm.
garbage. Ben
Yep.
Roethlisberger not on the Steelers, they're completely fine. That defense is amazing. I
Mhm.
can't really say special teams is great, but aside from kicking, the rest of the special teams unit, the coverage unit, the punt unit is fantastic. And I obviously, they got a nice stable of running backs they can go to, and a great pool of wide receivers that Mason Rudolph, the GOAT, will find in a pinch. So, but that's like the age-old conversation. Is it because the player is super valuable to the team, or is it because the player's on an undefeated team doing really well?
Mhm. And I think it's more valuable, like you said. I mean, that's how they're
In
going to
in
look at
your
it.
opinion, that's what you feel. That if the player is more
Oh, yeah,
integral
yeah.
part to the team, like if Dalvin gets hurt, the
Meaning,
Vikings aren't winning another game, kind of thing.
yes, that's how I would base it too. Meaning,
Okay,
if you took Mahomes out, if you took Rodgers out, they'd like look at what would happen to those teams.
sure,
Or I guess you could even say Wilson to that degree. Um,
yeah.
so
You're
yeah,
not
they're
slipping those things.
integral.
You're not slipping those pretty dimes into DK Metcalf with someone else's arm. Definitely
So
not.
here's another thing. I think Cousins, because of the lack of a backup quarterback, I think he's the most important
Oh my
person on our
gosh,
team.
he
I
doesn't
hate to
do
say it, he
anything.
is.
Say Jefferson. I would give you Jefferson. I would not give you
Yeah, but we don't.
Cousins.
Yeah, but I don't even know who our backup is. Like that's.
That's because
You
you're a
think
bad fan. That doesn't mean that he's integral to the team.
Mannion? It's Sean Mannion. No wait, was
Still?
that last
No.
year?
Now I
Oh my
have
God,
to
that was.
see.
Damn
Now I
it! You're
have
gonna
to
call me
see.
out on my lies again.
Because you always lie.
uh
Teddy Brit. No, I'm just kidding.
no, stop it. That guy signed an enormous contract with the Panthers. And hey,
Oh, did you
who's more
see him?
valuable?
Did you
Who's
see
more
him?
valuable, him or McCaffrey? You think McCaffrey's?
Uh, I mean, McCaffrey's hurt again, so I mean, the best ability in my mind
See?
is availability. So I mean, I
Yeah.
would like to say, I would like to say it can't always be the quarterback, but I feel that that's probably pretty true in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy played amazing, but he's still like he's not gonna will the team to win. Like he's not gonna get down, a huge amount of points and just be able to bring you from the brink in
Mm-hmm.
in the last quarter. Like it's just that's not a thing. I don't know. But at the same time, it's like yeah, well McCaffrey's been hurt all year too. So I mean,
Yep. And they've
you,
survived. I mean, they're almost 500.
yeah. Well, and the thing is, if you can take the Chiefs into the
Yes.
closing seconds, man, But then again, then they get completely deflowered and debased by really crappy teams. So I don't know. That's I know it's any given
Yeah.
Sunday, but jeez. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice little tangent.
I
Nice
was gonna
job.
say, yeah.
Nice
Wow.
job. All right.
You
So
ready?
because Ace has been such a good boy, we are gonna play that clip for him. With Dalvin's amazing run against the vaunted defense here. Um,
The Detroit Lions.
yeah, I mean the Lions are a great team, man. I'm not gonna take that away from you. All right, let's take a listen for you, huh?
And 10 from the 30, handoff. Dalvin shakes a tackle at the 25, and the race is on, and is loose. Touchdown!
Oh my gosh.
70-yard touchdown this time.
That, my friend, that is some spectacular playing. I'm sorry, that was really awkward. I had to reload the clip to
Sorry.
get it into the video recording, and it played from the beginning. Where the first play he dove in, and he was a yard short, so that was awkward. But no, he's playing amazing. I understand that he's played against really awful, horrible run defenses, but I mean, a lot of players could do that, but putting up six
Yeah.
touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, and
Yeah.
almost
I
400
think he's
total
got
yards. Ugh.
Yeah, 13 on the season
That is
too. And
nasty.
granted, like you said, half of them have come in the
Nasty.
last 2 games.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that he's around and he's doing what other players haven't done. There's a lot of players that have played. I mean, Aaron Jones had what?
Yeah.
He had a ridiculous day too. But I mean, that's the thing though. It's like when you have that kind of opportunity just to take advantage of it. And I mean, honestly, I feel like you kind of hinted at this before. Like he's kind of made you guys' season worth watching again. I mean, it was
that's a great point.
I mean,
to bring
how
up.
long ago were we talking? And I was asking, like, well, Zimmer hot seat or do you tank? I mean, now all of a sudden it's like the Bears have dropped 3 straight. The Packers are pretenders, obviously, according to every article that came out in the last couple of weeks.
Stop.
I mean, the division.
You love riding this sort of under the radar.
Dude, we're a small market team. What do you expect? That's what happens. But
Yeah.
no, I think it's a lot more competitive. I mean, the Lions. I mean, they're on a bad path. I mean, there always are, but like at least typically they'll start out like really hot, like the first half of the season. They go like 6-1 or something, or 5-2, doing well. And then Ace gets more text messages again, even though I said we were to turn off our phones for the show and all that good stuff.
I have a work emergency.
No, you don't.
I actually do, but I'm not gonna. I told her to give me some time. I swear to God. I can't. I've been trying to turn the notification off on my computer, but because my phone is silent, folks, and it's coming from my stupid computer right now. I apologize.
This is enough here just to watch the YouTube video right here. This is enough.
Hey, Zach, who hopefully usually listens. I'm having an error with some work stuff. He'll get it.
Jeez. All right. Well, aside from that awesome music, I think unless you have something else, I think we can get to the best part of the show. I know there's some couple other things that you're thinking about talking about. Yeah. Are you in?
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in for the quick picks.
Recap.
Let's save that for the end because I don't think I got this all. There's been some confusion with this. I'll recap later. How about that? Let's do this. We're gonna do the Jacksonville Packers game. I got 6 prop bets for that. Beautiful. It's gonna be interesting nonetheless, especially when you're dealing with prop bets. So they're all 6 of them are gonna be fairly, 50-50 odds here. We're gonna start off. Johnny, of course, goes first. Jacksonville total touchdowns. What do you think they're going to have over under 2.5 this weekend? Oh, that is
It's
dirty
hard
trap.
because every Jacksonville fan, and by that I mean the two that I've ever talked to in my life, they are confident that Rodgers will be benched at halftime because the lead will be insurmountable by that point. I, however, err on the side of caution, and I don't buy that for a second. But I don't know, man. Jackson, they're just in a hot mess. They don't do anything good. Minshew gave them a nice fire, but he's been out. Luton looked pretty good last week. But it's literally his first start. I mean, he's just a baby. You know what? I think they get some garbage points and they cover it. I say over.
Nice. All right. I will mark that down. Johnny. I'll just put J. All right. Green Bay total touchdowns over under 3.5 for me. I mean, this seems like a trap to say. There's no way I can say under here. I feel like I got to say over.
Yeah, it would be 3.5. I mean, they're averaging over 30 a game, so that right there is over that.
Yep. The next one, Johnny, 3 straight scores by either team. This could be a potential push also, but I think that'll happen. 3 straight scores by either team.
Scores. Well, okay, so this is a cool stat. So the Packers have scored on their opening drive in every single game this year. In every single game. And I think half of those were touchdowns. So if they continue that streak, that's one right there. I think they could probably get another 2, so I will say yay. Affirmative.
Yes, 3 scores. Perfect.
See, we're throwing some stats. We're putting some substance into the show.
Absolutely. And the next one is kind of on point where if they do get the ball first, it's time of first score. The over-under is 6 minutes, which is, I mean, that's a tease because
this is hard because Packers are always preaching TOP. Like, they're always about time of possession. They're always about controlling the ball. They're always about keeping the other offense off the field. However, Rodgers' deep ball and the long plays have been looking fantastico. And allegedly, Lazard should be back this game as well. So,
hold up, this is mine.
What?
You almost? Yeah, this is the fourth. I'm glad.
I want to double dip. I want to double down. Well, I just gave you some. I gave you some insight. There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are leaning one way, but I gotta say under. I'm gonna say under.
Okay.
I trust that even if they don't.
Well, remember, it's the first score, not all the scores.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Under there, let's see the next one. Largest lead of the game. Do you think it's going to be over under 16.5? 16.5 at any point. Largest lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got that. And last one I'll answer. High scoring half. Is it going to be the first or the second? I'm going to say the second. I just think they're going to end up getting garbage points, the Jags.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, kind of makes sense. Let's see here. I need to go over the only other one that I don't have. So I'm recapping everything. You did not get the first one in last week's Seahawks Bills. It's any team to score 40 plus points. You said no. That was wrong. I'm sorry, Johnny. I did not. I said they'd get over. The next one is me. The Seattle total field goals over 1.5. I believe that had to have been over one. So we're tied. I'm up to total touchdowns. Seattle 3.5. How many points did they score up? No, what was the? I'll recap later.
This is rough right now.
I know. It's like. I'm tied up.
I'm gonna start a poll on Twitter to see if you should lose your segment because this has notoriously been a painful part of the show.
No, so let's see. We're 12, 12, and 1 tie. And I didn't write down which ones were which. I just know it's a tie. There's a tie in there. So it's 12, 12, and 1. All right. Or no, 12 and 10. Sorry. I'm going to update later. Let's end this. Puppy.
Oh my gosh. Well, after much ado, we've reached the conclusion of our show. Thank you everybody for listening. Episode 41. No collab this week. We'll see. I'm hoping for either an interview or another collab next week, but people are a finicky bunch, so we'll see how it goes. But thank you for
Sounds
bearing
good.
with Ace and his growing pains. He spent the whole weekend gambling, so he didn't really have a whole lot of time for the show.
And I
We
wrote,
understand.
yeah, whatever. I won't. Doesn't matter. I don't need to explain.
Who do the Vikings play, BT Dubs?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't even tell you,
Oh
frankly.
my gosh.
No, the Bears. They play Monday night.
The Bears. Okay.
I didn't want to touch that game because I don't. It's not going to go how I think it's going to
That'll
go.
be
That's for
fine.
sure.
The Bears are on a train wreck path of destruction themselves, so I think that's a perfect matchup. All right, well, that'll be interesting. We'll get to chat a bit about that. Ace will spend the whole weekend getting his quick six together for us next week. But if you want to flame him or participate in the poll to take away his segment, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm just kidding. At a podcast, if you haven't already. Love to hear from everybody. And we are available wherever you find your favorite podcast. Just search Armchair Analysts. Give us a like, give us a rating, share us with your friends, your dog, your neighbor. I don't care. And then, of course, we got this beautiful video. You can see Ace's nice little setup with his filter on his mic. It's just so quaint. He looks so professional. We're all really excited about it. Thank you guys again for listening. This has been Armchair Analysts. I am Johnny. That is my friend Ace.